need to make their quota.
Absolutely. That interruption notwithstanding, so now we're going to have 2 live videos today, and I apologize to the people who were subject to it being interrupted. I had to go and move my vehicle afoot. Come back to the point. The only thing in Trinidad and Tobago that works is the record.
Because they get in money.
Okay, but again, let's stop making excuses. Let's say success leaves clues. If you could say, this is why the record works.
This is privatized. Because the record is a private operation.
I am saying that let us find out what works and apply that to everything.
Privatization.
Let's apply that to everything.
Once it affects people's money and income, and they can have a chance to do the right thing, they have a chance to actually earn something immediately off of it, they'll do it.
But
that's how the record works. I
have created a statement that I'm hearing repeated back to me that nothing works in Trinidad and Tobago but the record. and listen, I don't know how you translate that to the public service. I don't know how you translate it to the public service, but at some point, if police officers are motivated to work with the wrecking because they get a share of that money, give them a percentage of everything.
Let's start by the lights.
1,000.
Everybody to make sure nobody break the light, because they know they get $100 every time they write a ticket for somebody to break the light.
They get $100 on the ticket?
I don't know how much. I just
but I'm saying, but I'm saying, give them a percentage of the ticket. The ticket don't have to be $5,000. The government is a fool. We have an entire government of fools. You didn't have to make the fees so expensive. And a progressive empowerment party government would repeal all of that foolishness. Bring it back down to a $500 fine for speeding, a $500 fine for breaking the traffic lights. But enforce it.
They can afford to speed now. So how you
afford to speed? I just showing you this.
Well, how you prevent this?
Because the police officer who write the ticket take half. So you can write 10 tickets today and make $2,500, I promise you. Because for all the $5,000 tickets, it's not being enforced. No. I drive in on the highway. But if a police officer was getting 50% of $500, there would be police officers timing you on that highway and giving you tickets.
Yeah, boy, they'd be all over the highway.
They would be everywhere doing the job. If you said that police officers were going to be given $1,000 on every illegal firearm brought in, they would come in with truckloads. Police in Trinidad and Tobago, they're not fools, you know. They know where everything is.
Yeah.
It's just our system is set up.
They know where the money is.
But Kevin, the system.
All these drug dealers, they know where the money is.
But Kevin, the system is set up badly. Cases drag on forever. If you're a police officer, you have to decide if it's worth your while to charge somebody, because you don't know where you will be 20 years from now, but you're still going to be summoning to court. And some of those things are issues that we have to address as people in this country, as we go along to decide where we're going to go as a nation from here. Our truth is, everything fails. Nothing works. Nothing works. And we have to get beyond and past that now. We have to get to a point now where we demand better from our public office holders. And I want to go back to that letter that's being written to the Director of Public Prosecutions today. Because I am saying, whether Gary Griffith knows it or not, Gary Griffith deserves to be absolved from Emailgate if it was a lie. It is unfair to Gary Griffith, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Surut Rambachan, and Anand Ramlogan if Emailgate was a lie. If there is no way to prove it was a lie, and this is the problem I have with Trinidad and Tobago. The problem I have with Trinidad and Tobago is all you need one person to accuse you and the next person to say, yes, I hear that. You don't even need evidence. This is insane. We've created a banana republic out of a country that should be a paradise on earth. And we've done that from Eric Williams come forward.
Because of the corruption. Corruption has caused this. Corruption across the board from all levels.
Kevin, I want to tell you something.
Corruption destroys
corruption is a symptom, but it is not the problem.
What is the problem?
The problem in Trinidad and Tobago is that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are too lazy and irresponsible with our democracy.
Which breeds corruption.
Okay, that's a symptom. Every other country in the world that works, it is because the people not putting up with foolishness.
Okay.
No public officer. It's like they say, anytime you see a man running around the savannah or training in a gym, he ain't doing that because he want to run or he want to train. He doing that for a woman.
No.
He doing that to attract.
Alright, but maybe we started off like that, but
That is still the reason. Every man wanna be lying on a couch with a remote control and a big bowl of potato chips binge watching TV. And we running and training in the gym for ladies.
Because you want to look a certain way when the time comes.
Kevin, without women in the world, men wouldn't even have language. And it is that same laziness that translates to how we treated our country. When I made that video this morning about the failure of the Port of Spain City Corporation to keep Paul Carew Street clean, other people passed and saw that this morning. I am not the only person with a camera phone. They have more phones in Trinidad than people. If you don't know that, that's an absolute fact. We actually have more phones and more internet accounts than we have people. I am not the only person to see that. But we don't, when they said in the song we jamming still, we do business, we could see that and step over it. When the man died in the Oval at the cricket match, everybody jumped up as one and responded by running to the playway booth to play Dead Man.
I didn't know that. That's ridiculous.
And Dead Man came.
Oh,
This was another story.
I see any papers. I did not know the police had drones in operation. I did not know that. A drone found a stolen government vehicle in Heliad. They actually have drones in the police. You know, all the things that you would imagine they should be using the drone for, I'm surprised they actually have a drone. I am surprised.
I want to ask you a question. Do you think 4 years later, the nation should know if there was any truth to Emailgate or if it was a fabrication?
We should know. We should.
Asking you the question again, you are every man. You are a reasonable man. I'm asking you a question based on the fact that you're a reasonable man. May 20th, 2013. This is not 4 years, this is 5 years. May 20th, 2013, 5 years ago, the allegations were made.
Yes.
The David West thing is 4 years. The David West Ram Logan thing is 4 years. 5 years ago, the allegations were made. You trying to tell me that it is impossible for the police and the DPP and the justice system in this country to be able to tell the nation one way or the other if Emailgate was fact or fiction?
Well, Google said it was fiction.
Everything of substance has said it's fiction. Everything of substance. Every organization of substance. But you know what? I'm not playing law enforcement. I am just a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to know. Because it is my money pays all of them in the parliament. My money. And I want to make sure I get value for money. Did Keith Rowley abuse my money? My Diego Martin West vote? Did Keith Rowley abuse my seat in the parliament to lie and fabricate and accuse people of heinous and dark conspiracies? Did he do that? Because if Keith Rowley is willing to appoint Gary Griffith to the position of Commissioner of Police, it is one of two things. Keith Rowley knows he lied on Gary. He knows he lied on Gary. That is one. Or two, Keith Rowley does not mind appointing somebody that he accused of conspiracy to commit treason and murder and illegally wiretap the Director of Public Prosecution's office and to scandalize and defame and damage the reputation of a journalist. How could you, as a police officer in Trinidad and Tobago, respect Gary Griffith as your commissioner, as your leader, if the Prime Minister of the country said those things about him and has not retracted or recanted? I don't care that Nicole Dyer thinks her husband will be a good commissioner. The Express is playing smart with stupidness.
That is your friend, isn't it?
Those are my friends. But that is not the news. The news are the two matters that Gary's name called in. And both are PNM instructed matters. So what changed?
Indeed, what has changed? I'm curious. I would like to know what changed. I mean, people say the process was flawed. The process was flawed for all of them or just three.
I don't even care about the process. I think the whole KPMG thing was a waste of millions of dollars from one friend to another. PNM nonsense again. I'm moving beyond that. I am standing on law.
So who do you think should, or what process do you think we should get into to get a commissioner of police?
Before we even start to talk about that, Kevin De Freitas, the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago had a responsibility to stand up to the fact that the police service that they on either side of the aisle have continued to accuse of being rogue and criminally corrupt. If that is a fact, then take responsibility. The legislature is the highest court in the land, the House of Representatives. It is there that the action to clean up the police service happens. The police service is a creature of the Constitution. You understand that?
Okay.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is spoken into existence by the Constitution of the Republic. Tell me you understand that?
Yeah.
The Constitution writes a law that creates a Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and how it operates. Do you know who's responsible for the Constitution? 41 of them in Parliament. 41 of them in Parliament could sit today and either write a proper law for the operation of a police service or copy and paste from any of our Commonwealth family. We are part of a Commonwealth. It is only this country's police service that is this frightfully bad. It is only this country's public service that it is so failing. We could access India, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. We could access any of the Great Britain itself. We could access any of the member states of the Commonwealth and use their law.
We have corruption like mad here.
Kevin, being in a Commonwealth means that we can share the terms and conditions of their law. We have deliberately decided, and I'm saying this to Trinidad and Tobago, the PNM and the UNC are corrupt to the core, are beholden to people who want our police service to fail. And the reason our police service cannot be cleaned up and cannot function at this point, the question is not who should be commissioner. The question is, how do we make the police service functional? When Jack Warner went to Dwayne Gibbs and Iwatsky and say, we're buying you out your contract, they say, sign now. They was on the plane that day. They never talk about Trinidad after they leave. It is possibly the worst experience in their lives. They went back to civilization and have never spoken about their experience in Trinidad and Tobago. It means that Gibbs and Iwatsky were so frustrated in their jobs. I mean, I've seen that they had to go and do roadblock by themselves. If the police service don't want to give the commissioner a hearing, then nothing the commissioner could do. Our entire system of government at every level, of public service, of law enforcement, of justice, everything is deliberately broken and in the dark ages. And until we elect a government, people who are willing to confront and resolve all of these issues, if we keep playing any, mini, miny, more with the same PNM and UNC that have been failing for 56 years, we're going nowhere as a nation.
You see the problem there is, or you see, you realize, I mean, I'm sure you realize the size of the task that you would like to change is big. It is.
But this Trinidad has 1.4 million people. New York City, the mayor of New York City has
the very people in the system that...
No, Kevin, I want to tell you,
the rules to make sure
Kevin, I want to tell you, all through the world, all through history, what it takes is thinking, patriotic, civic-minded people to stand up and say...
different definition for the word patriotism now. You know?
Patriotism is to want better for your country, regardless of what you want for yourself. Gary Griffith is my friend. As communication advisor to Gary Griffith as Minister of National Security, and I was so damn good at my job that we left office as the only government minister in history that anybody holds in high regard. I am brilliant at what I do. And I know Gary wanted me to come and work with him as his communication advisor as Commissioner of Police. And if I was in any way concerned with myself and my self-interest, I would be leading the train to get Gary appointed. This is not about Gary. This is about Keith Rowley and Emailgate. This is about attempted treason that took place in the Parliament. Keith Rowley and the PNM used the sanctity of the Parliament to try to overthrow a democratically elected government. The Director of Public Prosecution should be mandated by the people of Trinidad and Tobago to charge somebody. You cannot allow Emailgate to happen and not be resolved. You cannot. That is a non-issue. This is a horror story. This is a prime opposition leader corrupted the office of the chairman of the Integrity Commission, went in Ken Gordon's house and got Ken Gordon to sit down and listen to him tell a tale without a witness. We have to rely on Ken Gordon for his take on the events. We don't even know what went on there. And Ken Gordon, Keith Rowley approached him as judge and Keith Rowley as prosecutor. There was nobody for the defense. That was a kangaroo court in a banana republic. This is how they do it when you watch those television shows where the army in charge and they can do what they want. No wonder Faris Arawi so comfortable in this PNM. His family was part of Saddam Hussein's Republican Guard, and they understand dictatorship and absolute dictatorship. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we live in a democracy, a nation ruled by law, and even though these people are chipping it down one by one, we could elect to office a government that could go in there and undo and redo it all.
That's true, we could, but like I said, it's going to be a Herculean task, and even as a Herculean task...
Stop saying that. Stop saying that. I want to tell you something. There are people in the world who are very good at what they do.
Yeah.
If you want to fix public health, go and find the best in the world at public health and bring that person here and give them a job. Give them a job with a clear timeline of what you want done, agreed budgets, costs, and where we will be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. And every 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, bring them before a joint select committee. You said we would be here by today. Where are we? That's the question. That's the whole question. Okay. You want to fix public utilities? Fitzgerald Hines had a minor conniption in London when he realized no matter what time, day or night, he turned on the tap in London, water came out.
That's sad. That's really sad.
When he said that on Hema Ramkissoon's show, he was the Minister of Public Utilities. And what is sad is, he came back here thinking that Trinidad and Tobago don't deserve better. And he is so incompetent as to not know how to find out why theirs work and ours don't. Because Trinidad and Tobago is entitled to public utilities that gives you water in your taps 24/7. You are supposed to go by Ross and Lianos and buy tank and pump. You're supposed to be entitled to, for the billions we spend, to water 24/7. Trinidad is more fortunate than any other nation in the world. Besides being an island surrounded by water in a world where geothermal, wave dynamics, solar or wind could desalinate seawater 24/7 at no cost to us but for maintenance. Right, wrong, Trinidad and Tobago. We get 20 times the consumption of water as rainfall every year. But like fools running a country, like inmates running an asylum, we build box drains and concrete rivers and take that bounty of rainfall and wash it out to the sea. That's all we know how to do. Grab the rain, take it to the sea.
Because I saw this show on Netflix, Islands of the Future, the Canary Islands. They have no rain. They study the way they make water is amazing. They don't waste the water. All they say they washing and water. So they see, even that they don't waste. They put it down and they pump it back up the hill to use for hydroelectric. They use hydroelectric and wind power to make their water.
Kevin.
And the kind of, it's amazing to see.
Kevin, you think that is amazing? You think that is amazing? The saddest indictment is Dubai is in the desert. Dubai has 24/7 water.
They're not running anything by gas.
Dubai is in the desert.
They're using the wind and the water. Like,
and all I'm saying to you is,
and everybody have water.
All I'm saying to you is, there are ways and means. We have aquifers, we have deep well water, we have... Japan just built a facility that holds 10 million gallons of storm water, that during the storm it fills and fills and fills, and after the storm they let it out. And it's as simple as that. Holland has been under sea level for hundreds of years. Since the 16th century, Holland has never had a breach or a flood. We can't control the movement of water in Trinidad and Tobago. Come on, man. We have to, the people of Trinidad and Tobago have to take responsibility for the foolishness. Belmont East this morning, that the PNM celebrated their victory, has not had water in the tap since election. The garbage, the rats and the roaches, nothing changed. Stuart Young and Nicole Young stunting for the media, notwithstanding.
They don't need them till next year.
It is time the people of Trinidad and Tobago came out in the streets and not go back home until we had an election, and that election elected a proper government, and that we invite election observers from the civilized world to come and make sure the EBC do our elections properly. Trinidad and Tobago is a broken nation, broken by design. This is not an accident. Everything is broken for a reason. I want to tell you something. You bring the right person, you give them the job, and you say decentralized water production in this country. WASA shouldn't be sending me water in Diego Martin from Caroni. That is madness. And having people explain, well, when the water off, when it come back, it'll be brown. Why is the water off? Why is it off? This is a country where rain falling, flooding your yard, and no water in your tap.
That's right.
That is the conundrum of the madness of Trinidad and Tobago. Until the people of Trinidad and Tobago realize that this is being deliberately done to them so Blue Waters could sell, and Water One could sell, and my family own Water One. This is being deliberately done to make a mess of this country. I grew up in Woodbrook. Woodbrook water was sweet. Hold on, stuff. Take your break, brother.
We're taking a break, people. But before we go, it's 11:40. Give it out to enter courtesy of a super quality. And do I remind you? Yes, I should remind you about something. Yep. You ever had to wait while your YouTube video was playing, or it's stopping while it's playing and whatnot? Well, you can get past that. Zero waiting, zero pauses with the 4G LTE speeds from B-Mobile. Making the switch is easy. Visit a B-Mobile store and get your 4G LTE SIM for free. Let's take that break.
How many? How many ads? How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So while we were going on the air, I talked to you on the phone, if people heard. I talked to a girl who called me, and I asked her to come to the thing next week, and they heard all that too. I didn't realize they were here. They heard me singing and all that kind of thing. Boy found out we were still on the air. Or on. Police have drones, yes?
Police have drones, so when police need drones, brother.
All over the papers this morning.
What's that?
Yeah, the first couple of pages is all about him. Here he just four stories. And the Express can't decide on how many people get killed for the year.
Nah.
The figure goes up and down.
Yeah. How much longer?
1, 2 more. Third is on this one.
Oh my God, I'm hungry.
So
Tengo hambre.
Find water on Mars.
Even Mars have water in Trinidad, don't.
So water on Mars.
You should have said that.
I don't remember. I saw it yesterday in news.
They find a lake, I know, I saw. Somebody asked a question. If we could make other planets habitable, why we can't make Trinidad habitable?
Well, we have water on Mars. You can make it water habitable. I gotta take it.
We're thinking about the beard and the mustache.
Okay, look at it is now.
How it coming out?
It's coming out.
It's starting to fill out.
Yeah, it fell out. Mine don't fill out probably as much as I would like it, but right now that the neatest is going to get for a while.
Yeah?
Because when I started going, I used that shape.
It's still scratchy though.
It's cut off too much now. My face is looking naked without it now.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to try it. I always wanted to try it. And while I'm on this break, laugh out loud break, because I think I'm working harder than I ever worked before. This country is in a mess, is in an absolute mess. Kevin, you cannot get away from the fact that people don't care. Because if people cared, it would fix.
People don't care. As I say, jamming still. I play the jamming still song, and I put my little pieces in between. When I say it is true, and nobody say I played it as making it sound bad, as saying the truth to the song. But I translate the words to the song, so what it really means. Well, my interpretation at least. It coming out good. Have no rhythm whatsoever. But
You write your own version?
no, I heard no version. When I see something playing, I translate and say what it means, what they're saying.
But you know, David Rudder was the one who put that line into National Lexicon, you know. The real jamming start on today with jamming still. That was from Calypso music. 20 years later, that boy write that song with jamming still. David Rudder has been a prophet in this nation. If you listen to the words of 1990 and realize it happened before 1990.
It's true. It make me eye black and blue then ask what the hell the police can do.
No mind ya, my dear. I'm going to pay my
So
visit.
beg to get a song just now, you know. Begging for the song.
Who that? Police, why no? Oh, so you in the Babylon books and this causing disruption in the domestic affairs. I am Constable Brown and Corny Boy too. I have here a warrant to arrest you cause the meat of the girl is black and blue. They ask for the
Who it is play that on his live video? Me.
That's right, because they show what police can do or not do. They should show you. They can show what they can do. You know.
Kevin, it is unfair to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service that we've allowed it to become this mess. Nothing is absolute. No anybody is all anything. There are good and decent men and women in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service who, if given the right chance, in a right and functional police service, would deliver, would keep Trinidad. Look, the Netherlands shut down their prisons.
Yeah.
They have no criminals. Japan renting out police. You could hire police now to help you load your warehouse because they have no use for police. We could be that. Trinidad and Tobago is not a lawless society. Our social management system is broken. They have too many people living below the poverty line. The cost of food has been allowed to gouge people. We don't use our fertile farmland to grow basics. Trinidad used to be a net food exporter up to the 70s. We could be again. Food independence should be a national goal, but these incompetent cluster warahoos that we have inside the parliament, they don't see that because they don't understand the difference between $1 and $5 in a poor person's pocket. And you need to elect to office governments that have compassion for people.
Keith at one point knew what $100 meant to people when it was concerning property tax. There was a time he knew.
And that is sad that this man is so double-tongued. He is such a hypocrite. At one point you accuse a man of treason and conspiracy to commit murder, and now you want to appoint him commissioner of police. Keith Rowley should be made to, by law, to either say that he believes Gary Griffith is still guilty of the things that he accused him of, or to admit that Emailgate was a total fabrication and a lie. And the minute he does that, the Director of Public Prosecutions should instruct the police service to arrest him and charge him for attempting to overthrow a democratically elected government. Keith Rowley and his entire band in government are a waste of time. We are going nowhere as a nation. If we have to chart our course, since these clowns have come to office, it's been backwards. We have a Minister of Finance who doesn't understand finance unless it comes to his personal business. That he know how to make work. But the country, the only country in the world that had a recession on his stewardship, while the rest of planet Earth boomed, 3.5% economy worldwide. But Trinidad had a recession under Coleman. But anywhere else in the world, he would not have only been fired, he would have been tarred and feathered and ridden out of town on a rail. We have 3 attorney generals and not one could get the job done. We have 3 ministers of national security, not one of them could. Fitzgerald Hines, George Young, Faris Al-Rawi. Don't ask me the name of the 3 clowns in the Ministry of National Security Office. I don't know and I don't care. What I want is to fire them. I want to fire this entire government. I want to empty out the 41 in the parliament, fire all, and start over. Trinidadians need to decide if they want a functional nation and to look for people capable, not stunt artists like David Abdullah who's selling his soul. Or, I mean, the other Congress of the People activists, one year he's COP, next year he's PNM. You can't be so. You have to stand for people, for policies, for plans, for programs. You have to know There is not one single question that you could ask me this morning about fixing Trinidad and Tobago that I cannot answer. I want to tell you something. Diversification of the economy is job 1. Food independence is job 2. Securing the nation's borders is job 3. Cleaning up the police service is job 4. Right-sizing the education system, job 5. Fixing public health, job 6. And making it possible for the average person to own a home, even minimum wage earners, is job 7. You see those 7 things?
Yeah.
You elect a government office that make those 7 things a priority, because all 7 could be delivered in under 5 years. Trinidad and Tobago will become a paradise overnight.
Wow. That's, it sounds big, it sounds utopian if you ask me, but once you have a plan, it's not necessarily pie in the sky. It is possible, it could happen, but we have to be willing to let it happen. And I think, as you said, we're kind of lazy, we don't want to let it happen. We prefer to sit back and say, what are you going to do? It's like yesterday when I went last year, I bought some grocery items, and the cashier was like, she's telling the bagger, go and get more of the clear plastic bags to put the meat and pork in it. And I'm like, oh, those are free? And she watched me, well, wait, she just kind of shake her hands on her shoulders like, so you want me to pay for the white bag, because it don't have the logo and anything, but the clear plastic bags are free. She's telling the guy, bring plenty for the customers. Apparently they're free.
Because the cashiers is the front line, and the cashiers getting insulted because the people of Trinidad and Tobago see Massey stand and admit it one time, that they see that was a profiteering stunt by Massey and rejecting them. When you go in the average Massey now, they're empty. People going, last night Guangzhou is the name, I can't pronounce it. Chinese supermarket open right up the road from Hilo, Massey 4 roads. Ram out, you can't get a parking space. You could play small goal football in Massey car park. Trinidadians are tired being taken advantage of, and I'm applauding them. And God bless social media. And God bless everybody that's willing to stand up and speak out. It is not my job to tell you who's the arbiters of the best ideas. That's yours. But I'll tell you something. If you've never had a government to date that can actually deliver water 24/7, why would you hire them again?
People in data is now 11:50, so we give it that time check to see if Rodney's supermarket.
Christopher Phillips died rolling around on the lawn of the General Hospital like a dog. And there's not even been an investigation. Nobody's been held responsible. That is a life that didn't matter.
He's not criminally corrupt.
That's a life that didn't matter. There are people right now in Riverside car park opposite opposite the
I know.
Besson Street Police Station,
Yeah.
opposite Riverside Plaza. Go and see those people suffering, hungry, destitute, dying. Those are citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The oil and gas that comes out of the ground is their own too. The pitch lake is their own too. It has nothing to do with their vote. It has to do with the government. Have to understand that the well-being of each and every citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is their function, purpose, and responsibility. And those people living under Riverside car park is a failure of every government we've ever had. Manning should turn over in the grave. But somebody said today that the MV Sue was $34 million, and it is the greatest loss or the greatest purchase of scrap iron and old battery buying by a government in our history. That was Colm Imbert's legacy from their partners in Incat and Hostal.
Yeah.
But that was not the biggest scrap iron purchase. Under the PNM, under Patrick Manning, Malcolm Jones was allowed to spend $3.5 billion buying a gas to liquids plant that could never work. We end up selling it as scrap iron for $25 million to a company now that getting access to use it, Nikwan, and next PNM organization. PNM people operating, owning and operating it. How do you thief money twice? Kevin, it is an example of how you thief money twice. Every time I think Milshirv was the top, after I thought what they got away with in Milshirv, I say that should be in a book. Gas to liquids should be chapter 2. That you sell it to us for $3.5 billion, buy it back for $25 million, scrap iron, and come back to control Petrotrin with it. This nation has been broken by criminal conspiracies to plunder, pillage, and maraud, make off with the people's money. Public health in this country is a joke, but when you go inside it, you're finding that a 1%er is providing them with equipment and material that they don't need and will never use, to the millions and tens of millions of dollars. Where are our retention ponds to purify and process within the community the rainfall that fell today?
We should have things like this, because if the Canary Islands with no water could be thriving with water, thriving. I mean, I was the Islands of the Future is a really series. I saw another one last night that talked about Madeira. All these islands are using green power. It's amazing how these little islands are doing it. There's no oil, there's no gas. They're doing it with wind, solar, water. Amazing. People, it's 11:55. Give it that time to courtesy of Hearty Foods, and remind you it's a place you can go get a whole lot of great deals all of the time, like fans, hand mixers, alarm clocks, all happening at Hearty Foods, Queen Street in Arena.
You tell me how 20,000 children do SEA, that criminal child abusing exam. 20% gets put in prestige schools, the other 80% also ran. 5 years later, 9,000, this is actual Trinidad statistics. 5 years later, 9,000 graduate, 11,000 do not. We have more than 50% of our children failing out of the education system. To be a baton twirler at Amalgamated and a cashier at KFC, you need 3 CXC passes. These children not even graduating, Kevin. We have a broken education system. Why is it not a...
I don't know if it's that bad.
Why is it not a national crisis? Why aren't we ringing the alarm bell? That means every 10 years, 110,000 people in this country are functionally illiterate and incapable of getting a proper career. So it becomes a burden on the state as they try to survive. We have to take responsibility for this. We have to stop shaming and blaming and laughing and joking. We have to look to the management of the country.
There are teachers out there who are trying.
I am not saying no. And there are police that trying and firemen that trying, but the firemen telling me, Philip, I out in fire and water in my boots and I can't get a replacement. That they give us fancy material and equipment just for the Independence Day parade and then it's go back in mothballs. That we doing the best with things from 500 years ago. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are continuing to allow this madness to continue, Kevin. And I want to say this clear as a bell. Until we stand up together as one people under one flag and demand a government who understands that the well-being of every single citizen, water in every tap, the ability to afford a house, the ability to get a job. In America right now, they're boasting there are more jobs than people. We need to have... In America.
Wait, what?
Yes. But we need to have a government that understands. Jobs are important. Jobs are important. Yes, cost of living is important. We have a make-believe government masquerading as leadership. This is foolishness. This is absolute nonsense. We cannot continue like this. We will end up in a crisis. One Venezuela.
That's a very good point there, people. Very good point. People, 11:57 is the time. And I gotta give it a time check courtesy of actually courtesy of Notebook. Don't forget, people, our anniversary is coming up.
Courtesy of
next
me.
Courtesy of
I want to be the one that courtesy that time check. Okay, courtesy of Philip Edward Alexander.
Philip,
me personally. You wanna share in some of that? Me and Kevin. Marcus Peter.
People, don't forget that our anniversary is next week, Saturday, at Gravity Car Park. You know it. There's long circular road behind courts if you want big yellow building. You can't miss it. You'll see the people, you'll see the noise. Oh, sorry, you'll hear the noise. But it's happening. Bring your grass skirt, your coconut bra, your Hawaiian shirt. Good luck with that. It's happening. Gravity Car Park, the 13th anniversary of More FM indeed. Largest cooler before 11 o'clock with 3 bottles of premium alcohol. And of course, the music is going to be from Howie T, Dr. High King, Kabuki, Naya Bingy, Original Wax. It is happening. Tickets available next week, the 4th of August. With that, well, we have about 2 minutes. We can run say, so you come any party.
I don't have a grass skirt or a coconut bra.
Don't want to see in a grass skirt.
Somebody just sent me a message on Facebook to loosen my top button. They want to see what we're working with. We have slackers outside there, Kevin. Slackers.
I don't think it was a woman.
Chinny people, joke and fun aside, and I'm going to tell you something. The job, the mission is to inform, educate, and empower. I do this every chance I get, every night on social media, every Thursday. Thank God for 104.7. Thank God for God Christopher on Power 102 and Stanley Augustus, who stood up against the powers that be to allow us to raise the issue, and I will never forget that, Stanley. Thank God for Stefan Reese on Breaking Dawn. There are few, there is a saying, but for a few people, that is all that stands between us and the darkness. Trinidad and Tobago, stand up for yourself, stand with one another, join hands. The first mission is to inform, educate, and empower. We are going to be calling, this is a beyond parties now. we are going to be calling for a massive show of support nationally, that we get together, all of us, and stand up for country, stand up for a better Trinidad and Tobago. We have to go forward. If we don't, we're going to end up in a crisis. Kevin, thanks a lot for having me. Thank you to Robert Amar and Sharon Amar and More FM 104.7 for making this time available. Thank you to all the patriots and civic-minded people of Trinidad and Tobago who listen to these shows and share these videos. Changing the country is our responsibility as people. Stop delegating it to fake leadership. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, people. Well said, people. All right, that's it for